So did you have any instances in school growing up that challenged you as a child playing instruments and just being different, and what did you do in those scenarios?
I mean, only constantly. I did have a lot of encouragement as well, to be fair. I like to acknowledge my teachers, but just to kind of place a scenario on where this is, because you are really isolated growing up in an area like this. My kindergarten teacher was actually illiterate. She was the nicest person in the world, but she was illiterate. And she used to say, "That's Shawna Lee," because my name is actually Shawna Lee. I changed it when I got married, because in Texas you have to have two names. So that's Shawna Lee. She knows where she stays, so that's like the highest praise you could possibly get. So I knew where I stayed.
What does that mean?
It means I knew where it was at. Like I knew what I was going to do. I knew I was going to go somewhere. And that was the whole thing. The teachers that were there, like, oh, she's going to get out of this town. Like I remember telling my second grade teacher I wanted to be a cook when I grew up. And she's like, you can cook for a man all your life. You are doing something different. You're getting out of this town. Like she sat me down. There was a confrontation. Like, you are not going to be a cook. But I stood out the entire time. In high school, there was actually a faculty sanctioned organization called IHS, which stands for the I Hate Shawna Club. There were regular meetings on Tuesdays. I'm not making this up. Yeah, definitely stood out in a good way and stood out in a bad way. But, that's the deal with business. If you are going to actually do something, and do it, like you're not going to rise to the ranks of a JP Morgan, not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're going to make a splash, then guess what? You're going to make some enemies. And so from a very young age, learning to really befriend the janitor so he could let me out of the locker that I was shoved into at any given time, then you learn to have a thicker skin and say, I can be immersed in this world, or I can look up here. And thankfully, I had parents that celebrated that, even though they did not pursue a higher education in the traditional sense. And they were like, yes, you're different. There's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of kids don't have that.